Okay, that's right there in front.
All right, this is on March 1919. Imagine that. Mrs. C.H. Wilson Wright, Mrs. Elizabeth G. Neal, I guess it is, and Isabel looks like Footmore or something.
Footman.
Footman, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Boy, well, you can see by the tackle that they have, it's pretty old.
Cane poles,
Yeah,
probably.
right.
Now, I'm going to just put these down because I had them here. I just took them from your...
Yeah.
So that's right.
Okay, now, this George Frost and Joe, I guess it's Joe, George Frost's boat, and I can't make out.
Well, that's all right. We can...
Yeah.
But they're on their way home, it looks
Yeah,
like, from a
yeah,
fishing
exactly.
trip. Now, there's another fishing...
Yeah, here's a pretty nice catch. It looks like kingfish.
Yeah?
And, yeah, they, Netta and Joe Wilson with something fish.
No.
I can't-
Kingfish.
Kingfish, yeah, that's right.
Okay, and so then this one right here is, it says that Mr. Frost was with these people.
Yeah, Dr. Wiley and S. Honestly of Decatur, Georgia, and Eugene Wilson, also of Decatur, Georgia.
Okay.
And the other one was one of the Frosts.
Okay. We got the next one?
I think we about
Well, we got this little stack here.
yeah. This is inside of the restaurant there that Millie and her husband operated, and as you pointed out, she was the man of the house, you might say, because her husband was a very small, spare person, and she liked to take charge of everything, and and apparently they did a lot of singing, and they all had a good time.
Well, they used to do a lot of drinking back in those days. I know that from...
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Now, what is this? This was another inside of
that's pictures of the inside of the...
Now, you don't think this was a restaurant that was on Broadway, like an older one than the one that was here?
It could have been. It could have been, because there
they
was
started
one down
out
here.
there, I think.
Well, you may be right there.
Because these look like old.
Sure.
Old. And then this is what, like a hurricane?
Yeah, that's after a storm, and you can tell that a lot of debris came up at high tide.
Okay.
And
this is that restaurant again.
Right. In fact, I think you're absolutely right, because Laura told me that she used to put on little birthday parties for her kids, in that restaurant, and it was right next door to the post office, I think.
Right.
So you're right.
Okay, and here's another one of the same.
Yeah.
It looks like a fun little restaurant. It looks like cypress walls and nice little chairs. And I'll tell you a funny story about the restaurant. Is that they went there, my parents went there, and my dad's brother was there, and she had made a big pie. And so I don't know what kind of pie it was, but it smelled so good that my uncle said, well, I can't afford it, but how much will you charge me just to smell it? And she said that she was going to charge him a dime to smell it. And so he paid her a dime to smell her pie. Okay, so we've just got to move right along because I just have that.
Yeah.
So what is this book we're looking at? Is this a Whitney?
This is a booklet that I think Gordon had published.
You got to put it right in front of the camera.
Yeah, and that he had to publish. And of course, this shows the beach line all the way up to what is now Longboat Pass. And
it says holiday in distinctive simplicity.
Yeah.
And then this is a booklet about Longboat Key in 1941. Did you know that we have a movie that one of the Whitneys had given us at the museum? And that it's a movie that they had a movie camera and they actually flew over the key.
Yes.
So they had hunting, and they had fishing, and they had beautiful beaches, and what more could you want, right?
Right. They probably would have liked to have air conditioning.
Yeah. And sailing and boating.
Yeah.
And, you know, I read one of the things at the Historical Society was a recording of Gordon explaining about him introducing quail. Apparently there were a few quail here, but he introduced quail. He actually bought them, brought them out here, and let them go. They had archery and...
yeah.
Well, this is fun that we... this is a great little book here. This would be nice to get some pictures out of this.
Sure. Yeah, as I say, fishing was the big thing here. And of course, swimming in the Gulf. Kids, of course, got more of a kick out of that.
Those are the apartments.
The apartments, right.
And
now, this shows the Whitney Beach apartments and cottages, and this must be the line of Australian pines that went alongside the...
well, they said originally that Ringling planted those, but I don't know if that's a true story or if that was just something that he may have planted some of them and then other people planted the others.
I don't know. I kind of think, having been in government, knowing that when they put in the road, I think the engineers may have specified that they needed to put in some vegetation there to hold the foundation of the road. And so it may be because this portion of the road was built by Manatee County. They went down to the county line and stopped, and then I think Ringling paid for the Sarasota portion.
Okay, now I'm just going to show this picture, and then we just have to wind up for now, and we'll just start again.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So that would be the Whitney Beach right there.
Yeah. Let me say something about this Whitney Beach. When Gordon Whitney bought the property, he told me he had about 1,500 to 1,700 feet from what was John Ringling Parkway, but it's now Gulf of Mexico Drive, and at the very northwestern tip.
Right.
And he said everything was going along fine until the Corps of Army Engineers came in and dredged and deepened the channel from Cortez down to the east side of Longboat Key, separating Sister Keys from Longboat.
Right.
And when that happened, a realtor from Bradenton who had a client that owned Pickett's and Jewfish Key.
Right.
He wanted to get...
Is that Walter Hardin?
Walter Hardin is correct, yep. He wanted to connect those two keys, and in so doing, he created a breakwater that disrupted the normal flushing action of the tides.
Right.
And they come around, and the force of the current was diffused by the
right.
So consequently, it changed the way the sand accreted.
And we're still having trouble today.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said I had to move my apartments or cottages back 3 times.
Right. Okay, we've got to stop right now if you don't mind, just for now.